Here we go. It's gonna be a good one. Make sure you subscribe. How can you both be non-binary, meaning neither binary gender, neither a man or a woman, that's how you identify, but then claim the word lesbian as a sexual orientation when a lesbian means a woman that is attracted to other women? This literally makes no sense. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but that's okay because it's been a minute since I've done a video like this. We're just gonna go all out and talk about this and not have any shame behind it. There was a video about all of this too, so let's watch it together. I have an idea of what I think I'm gonna say, but I think some of it will actually surprise you, so watch until the very end.
As far as I'm concerned, my understanding of my gender and my understanding of my sexuality are very much intertwined and linked, like they are one and the same.
So if your gender and your sexual orientation are linked, then how can you be
So can you be non-binary and lesbian? This is something I often get asked because when you identify as non-binary, you're saying that you're not female. And if you're not female and you're attracted to women, does that make you a lesbian?
No! How could you be both non-binary, meaning not a woman or a man, neither binary gender, and then claim the word lesbian as a sexual orientation when the word literally means women attracted to other women? To all the lesbians watching this right now, I want to ask you something. Doesn't it piss you off when cisgender straight guys claim to be lesbians? If you're at a bar or something and you tell somebody, you know, the guy hits on you and you're like, you know, I'm a lesbian, and he says, oh yeah, I'm a lesbian too. And you're like, bro, like you're not though. Why aren't we getting upset when non-binary people are now claiming that same label? Like, wouldn't it be disrespectful to say that non-binary people can be lesbians? Because wouldn't that be misgendering them?
I think it's sort of disingenuous to claim that you can't be both non-binary and a lesbian, because you can definitely have an authentic lesbian experience as a non-binary person.
Before trans women come out, are they seen as the true gender that they are? No, because it's internal, right? And that makes sense. But they have always been trans women, even if the world can't see it, because internally they are experiencing that. Externally, does a trans woman before transition experience the benefits of being a man, or being male rather? Yes, I also think so, yes. But internally, again, they are still living the experience of a trans woman, just like these people, in my opinion. You're not living a lesbian experience, you're living a non-binary person's experience of being attracted to women. Believe it or not, there are two ways of experiencing your gender and your sexual orientation, right? There's internally and externally. Internally meaning mental, externally meaning the physical manifestation of your sexual organs and the way other people perceive you to be. Before I came out as a lesbian, some people might say I was living as a straight person. The world might have seen me or thought that perceived me to be straight, and the same goes for trans women and trans men, people that are living internally different than how the world sees them. But the truth is, I was never straight. I always knew that I was a lesbian. I was a closeted lesbian, but I was never living a truly straight experience.
So my personal experience with the lesbian community since coming out as non-binary has been rather dismal. A lot of lesbians that I've encountered, especially on dates, haven't accepted my identity as something that they are interested in dating or accepting, to the point where some women have wanted me to use my birth name, which I feel very uncomfortable to use, because they want me to be more of a woman rather than someone who identifies in the middle.
I mean, yeah, like if you're a lesbian on a dating site looking for other lesbians or looking for other women, people who identify as women, and you are not a woman, then why would you get upset for people telling you that you're not what they're into, which is women?
So they're almost bullying me out of my own identity, which is quite frustrating.
Nobody's taking you out of your own identity. You are forcing yourself into somebody's dating pool when you don't belong there. If somebody tells me they want to date me but they don't identify as a woman, they don't present as a woman, and they're not female, at least female presenting, I'm not going to be into that. I don't think I would feel comfortable with dating someone who doesn't identify as a woman, because there is a mental aspect behind it.
I have had people say that you can't be both non-binary and a lesbian, but I do think that comes from a flawed understanding of what lesbianism as an identity means, both now and historically.
Lesbianism isn't an identity, it's a sexual orientation.
But I'm still expected to kind of explain that even in the context of a dating app, which is obviously I'm not going on there thinking, who can I next educate about what a non-binary lesbian is? Like, I'm there to you know, and they're to socialize, to find people to go on dates with, to connect with people.
Maybe non-binary lesbians should date other non-binary lesbians, if that is even a thing. I think I kind of understand where these people are coming from. Internally, they are living the experience of a non-binary person, if that's a thing, who is attracted to women. But externally, they still look female, they still present female, they're not on testosterone, they are living the external experience, how people view them as a lesbian. What I think these non-binary people are trying to say is that even though internally they are neither gender or they are some other gender, I don't know what they are, I didn't ask them, the world will still see them as women who date women, therefore lesbians. I think this person that follows me, this woman, I think this is a trans woman, she nailed it. I want to read this to you. She said, "It's clear by the way that they talk, especially about authentic lesbian experiences, the fact that they are biologically female is a big part of why they claim the label lesbian. However, I bet they'd jump on anyone that said pre-op trans women aren't lesbians." In this case would make sense because this is what they're saying, right? Because by the non-binary people's logic in this video, trans women who are pre-op aren't lesbians. And they can't be because they wouldn't have the authentic female on female experience, the authentic lesbian experience as they put it in this video. Again, it depends on if you're looking internally versus externally. Internally, yes, I would say trans women pre-op can be lesbians. Externally, no, because you are perceived as a straight man in that case, or a straight male. So, because I do respect people's identities and I know that internal gender is a real thing, obviously it's been scientifically proven, I'm gonna go with no, you can't be a non-binary lesbian. Like, I just don't understand. Just like there are cis men who can't be lesbians. I just don't think someone should call themselves a non-binary lesbian. I think you should call yourself a non-binary person who dates women.
To be honest, what other label can I use? There is no label to describe a non-binary person being attracted to one binary gender.
Just call yourself a non-binary person who's attracted to women. That's it, like you just said it.
So the only word I feel is applicable to describe how I identify sexually is lesbian. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but to be honest, I think whatever label you feel comfortable with, you should be allowed to use.
But here's the thing, labels matter. Labels are words, and words help us communicate feelings and help us communicate what we're talking about to other people. If a cis guy who dates women started calling himself a lesbian, like, would you accept that? And I'm not saying that you can't be non-binary, but you can't be a non-binary lesbian, just like you can't be a guy that's a lesbian. And I'm not hating on non-binary people, okay? I've had conversations with a few friends of mine. I do think that non-binary is a legitimate thing. There have been some studies on it so far, not many, I believe, but some studies that show differences in the gray matter of the brain compared to cis and trans people, binary trans people, and I get that, but then if you're gonna respect somebody's gender and know that that's a real thing, again, it's the internal versus external debate. I think that's what it comes down to. I think I want to end the video with this. This is a tweet that somebody sent me and I was like, holy shit. This sums up my thoughts on why labels are important. To anyone saying that labels don't matter, it does matter because lesbians aren't taken seriously. People don't believe that women can solely be attracted to other women. Misusing the term lesbian gives reason to believe that it is a fluid or arbitrary term. Isn't helping anybody. If you're a woman that's attracted to non-binary people and, you know, women, call yourself queer. Just don't use the word lesbian. Like, it's the one word that we have that makes sense for us. Come up with another word. Queer, in my opinion, is probably what these people should be using. But what do you guys think? Do you think you can be both non-binary and a lesbian? Again, I feel like internally, no, externally, yes. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and Twitter because I want you guys to send me things like this that I can react to because it's important to talk about. In my opinion, I've always been one for labels. Labels are important. Send me anything you think would be good to talk about on this channel because it is an open communication. Other than that, I will see you guys back here on this channel with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. I love yourselves.